BJB. All I'm going to say today, move this out of the way a little bit, is absolutely amazing stuff today. We'll get into it today. Let me know we are Saturday the 20th. United have just won. Now, I watched the game today. Sorry I didn't do a watch along today. Had other commitments. I was literally sat in a pub with the game on my knee. So that's my commitment. I was watching the game with an earphone in while other people were doing, went for a family meal. So not something that I could get out of. It was for a special occasion today. So I would have loved to have watched the game along with you guys. It would have been fantastic, but I had to do someone else. Scott, get in, my friend. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely buzzing. We'll get into that stuff today. One of the things that we did say on here, and before that, I will say, get into the chat. Let us know how you feel about the win. Let me know what you think about the game. Let me know if you think we were lucky to win. Scott, it's a massive 3 points. What are we now? 9th. So I'm going to still try to be very logical tonight. I'm not going to let emotion and the win cloud what I'm going to say tonight. I'm still going to be consistent on this one, and we'll go through the players and we'll go through the game. And let's get into it. So today was a massive 3 points. Many people predicted. I thought we played well. I've seen other people. Scott, honestly. If you don't think we played well today, I don't know what game that you were watching. Amorin, and again, what we'll probably get in here tonight is we'll get lucky. We'll get that we were lucky. We were holding on. I've got my opinion on this. So let's get into it. So 2-1, I thought United, and what I will say, Scott, I mean, whoever's saying that, I'll give you my opinion on that as well. Get your opinions in the chat. Get your opinions in. Now, Scott, we all know, right, whenever we win tonight, it's going to be lucky and whatever else. Towards the end of the match, was I a little bit nervous? A tiny bit, but I genuinely thought that we played well. And I'll give you my opinion on it as well. Get into the chat. One thing I will always say, we have amazing mods in this chat. People like Scott absolutely does an amazing job. And when this channel hopefully gets big enough, Scott is a legend of this chat. So please be respectful to Scott and any other mods, or they will kick you out. So again, get your opinions in. We don't mind the banter. As I always say, I'm not a dictator of this chat. Get in, let's celebrate a win. If we can't be happy with a win, irrespective of whether tonight we think it's lucky, we think whatever we think, just get in there, give us a like, because we won a game. Sometimes it doesn't matter how you win a game, but let's go through the match. So I'm going to give you my opinion on the match. I'll give you my overview, and then we can talk about the match. Overall, I thought we played well today. What I liked about the performance, and the first thing I'm going to say is it's not about formation. It's not about the tactics. What I saw today was mentality. The difference today was mentality. I thought Bruno Fernandes today was brilliant. I thought Bruno Fernandes today showed a captain performance. Was it perfect? No. What a good week to be a City fan. Mortal being, exactly. Again, getting your chats. Amit, I'll come on to Casemiro. What an idiot. This is why I don't want Casemiro. I'm also going to give praise to Luke Shaw today. I absolutely think Luke Shaw was pretty decent today, and I will give my scores as well on that. So please get into the game, what you thought of the game. Give me your scores. Give me your reactions to the game. Do you think that we were lucky? So I caught that at the right time. He was going to say a racist word. Yeah, you did, Scott. I mean, look, Absolute idiot, right? So let's get to it. United, as I said, was Benja right or was I right? Was Benja right or was I right? I can't remember. I said 2-2. I did say it could swing either way. It depends on the performance. Was Benja right or was I right? Exactly, Benja. Exactly, my friend. 2-1. It was 2-1. So you said 3-2. I said 2-2. But one of the things that I said, it could swing either way. It depends on what we got. On what we got was the performance that we had against Arsenal. And this is what I said on the last stream. Not because I'm right, it was just an opinion. I always thought that we were going to come out and play what we did against Arsenal. Now, people are going to say, yeah, the goalkeeper was sent off. But the reason why he was sent off was because of the way that we were playing. We come out of that trap. Soccer is for pussies that can't handle American football. Oh, right, please. Right, let's just take a break for Jangle here, please. So basically, what you're saying is a sport that wear pads and helmets and have so many stops and starts. You think soccer is for pussies. Jangle, you're a fucking moron, mate. I'm just going to say this. I guarantee you play a game of soccer, mate, you'll get absolutely smashed around the park. I guarantee you come and play Sunday League, you last 2 seconds. Mate, I love it. I love it when people compare football because it's football. American football have so many breaks. They all wear helmets and shoulder pads and pads. And you're telling me that soccer is for pussies. Jangle, you're a twat. So, absolute moron. American football's garbage. Exactly, that ref was awful. Disagree, Wild World. Disagree. Absolutely disagree. Scott, I mean, I don't think he was awful. Was Casemiro a red? Let me know. You let me know your thoughts on the ref. Now, I thought the ref had a difficult game on the basis that it was chucking it down the rain, right? Absolutely smashed it down the rain. So I didn't think it was that bad, but again, get your opinions in on the referee as well. So I think we started off well. As I said, Scott, the thing is, but I think the thing is though, Scott, when the referee sends off one player, Wayne says, congratulations, Wayne, thank you. I genuinely thought that Casemiro yellow card was very harsh. Cucurella deserved the red. He killed Mazraoui. Do you know what? Let's talk about that. I thought basically Casemiro got sent off because it was like for like. But if you're gonna do what Casemiro did, and he's done it time and time again, you've got to be careful. When you're an experienced player like that, and a referee's itching to send players off, you got to be careful. And Casemiro is prone to that. So Casemiro, and again, I'll give you my scores. It's very difficult to judge a game when Chelsea have a play sent off, right? So I'm going to be as fair as I can. So I thought we started off the game extremely well. I thought it was going to be a good game. I think the red card completely changed the game. Now, what I thought was interesting are the subs that they made. So Chelsea had to make subs. Now, where I will concede this, I think that if Maresca, and obviously you can't know this, right? If Maresca had have known that we were going to get a card as well, I very, very much doubt that he would have reacted in the way that he did, right? So I think one of the things that won us the game was the substitutions that Maresca had to make. So, the fact that Cole Palmer wasn't on the pitch, and I'm going to be fair, I'm not going to get over excited, and I'm not going to start going that we're back. I think that has absolutely served no place here. But Chelsea then, second half, when we went down to 10 men, the one thing that I liked about the performance from us was that mentality was still there. Our heads didn't drop. How the transfer market closed. How our heads didn't drop. And what I liked about that, and what I've been saying this whole time, it's not about formation. It's about mentality. And that is what we showed today. We absolutely showed mentality. Now, the goal from them came from very, very disappointed, from a corner where nobody was even looking. Nobody even tracked down the corner. Very, very disappointed. Obviously, Reece James. Thomas Mercy says, what a great day for Amorin today, and lucky to keep his job safe for now. I don't think so. I don't agree, but let's get through your chat. But at the moment, Xavi is my best option to be the next United manager. So do you think Xavi is the best option to replace Amorin? Thomas, interesting comment. I don't think he's lucky. I respect the opinion. And as I say, get your opinions in. I would read them all out. And if I come back on the opinions, not because I think you're wrong, not because I think I'm right, I'm just reacting to the opinions, right? He wasn't lucky today. I think he got it spot on today. I think these players have realised the alternative. Now, I did a show today in the car. Let's be clear on this. It's come from a very, very good source. And Jim Ratcliffe wants Southgate. So it's irrespective right now. I don't really want to talk about the manager situation right now because I'm not even thinking about that. But where I would concede it, Thomas, if I thought Xavi could come in and do a job, of course, he's a well respected, he's an amazing player. Again, but this is not about the manager. We saw this today. So Xavi, for me, I don't think he'll get his team. If Amorim walks, I'm telling you, Southgate is Sir Jim's pick, and Southgate will come into this squad. This has already been confirmed by a source that Sir Jim really likes him. And I just think we need to be really, really careful here. So for me, I don't think he was lucky today. I mean, get in your opinions. And I think if you think that, I think today's a very, very good discussion. 15th would be a big achievement. Luke, look, mate, look. I get it. My friend, Banter is welcome here, and as long as we are all respectful, absolutely cool, right? Don't forget to give us a like as well, give us a favourite, give us a subscribe, press the bell icon, get in here for the chat as well. This is a United channel, but I'm happy to discuss it. If you support another club, if you're a fan of another club, absolutely, let's talk about it, right? So we'll get through the match, and then anything else that you want to discuss, talk about, we have real honest conversations on here. Try keep winning as much as you can. Amorin has got a big breathing space now. I agree, and I'll come on to that as well, because what I think is really important now, Wayne, and I do think that you make a good point, is can we follow up these wins? Can we follow up these wins? So wins like today are fantastic, right? But these are not the games that matter. They are now because he needs points. But in the long term, can you win the next game? Can you beat Sunderland? Can you win the next game? So as I said, after the first win, what team are we going to get now in the next game? So for me, looking forward to the next game. We've won this game, lucky or not. We will go through the game, but we have to win the next game. We have to be realistic. I want to see Bruno playing like he did today. I thought Bruno today was fantastic. This is the Bruno Fernandes that I want to see every single game. If Luke Shaw's going to play, Luke Shaw is still prone to an error. This is the Luke Shaw I want to see. Maguire, I thought was good today. De Ligt today, again, I thought he had a brilliant game today. I loved it. I think he's fantastic. Thinking caps, utter madness. Bluey's same says, hey, crazy game. Can we get rid of Ugarte? we'll come on to that as well. Let's come on to that. We will come on to that as well. Talk about the team, and we'll go through that. Was terrified the game would be called off. The rain was ridiculous. From all the PSG players, we bought freaking Ugarte. I agree with you. And we also enabled them to buy, was it silver as well? It was absolutely ridiculous. Richard Hawkins said, good evening from a very wet Manchester. Richard Hawkins, welcome, my friend. I tell you what, big up the matchday fans today. I always give matchday fans. I don't know if you are, but I absolutely big up the matchday fans. Again, just brilliant, amazing support. I mean, the noise today at certain points was unbelievable. And how that doesn't send shivers down your spine as a player, how that doesn't inspire you is ridiculous. But guys, give us a like on the video. It's really simple and it really does help us out. 75 and sunny here in Maryland. What's your thoughts to taking on Brentford next week at 12:30 TNT Sports, the G-Tech Community Stadium? So hopefully I will do a watch along for that one. Thomas, again, my friend, it depends. I think Brentford are not the team that they were, but I can't sit here and be arrogant, right? I'm not going to sit here. I'm not one of those channels that's going to come on and say to you, oh, we're going to go out next week, and I will talk about the game today and go, oh, we're going to win that game. I still don't trust these players. What we saw today was a mentality. We saw a reaction from these players, but can they do it again? Can Bruno Fernandes for me today was somebody who was leading, and when the camera was panned on him, I didn't really see the petulance today. I saw a guy who was playing for the coach. I saw a guy that wanted to win, and that bit where he ran through and sort of like just like had a shot and was telling the fans, that is what I need to see. That is what I want to see. So if we get that next week, then I think we win. I really do think we'll win, but it is so hard for me to judge because I don't trust these players. And I'm not just going to say, oh, we're capable next week of going away and having a bore score draw. But I do think we'll win. I think if we show the performance like we did today, we can do it, but we must win next week. Blue Game says, Brentford is a win if we keep this form, but the players start in position. But Bluey Games, what we saw today was that it's not the formation. I've been saying this, and if you watch that game, which it's not the formation, it's not the tactics. And does Rúben Amorim have more tactics up his sleeve? We went down to 10 men, and yet you can argue that we conceded goals. We conceded a goal. You can argue that, but that was from a corner. That was us reacting. I thought Luke Shaw today had a good game. I'm not going to go over the top compared to how he's been. De Ligt today he's brilliant. He's so good. I think he's such an underrated player. I think he's right. Luke Shaw was okay, but the problem with Luke Shaw, the intensity isn't there. I thought first half he was good, but that's the problem with Shaw now, is that he can't last the whole game. The problem is still with Jonas. Wayne, I agree with you, mate. Ryan Sling says Ahmed needs to step his game up. Again, we'll go through the game, and then when we talk about it, let me know. I don't disagree. Will Yoro get a call up for the France first team? I think he should. Thomas, I thought that when he came on the pitch, Maguire, I thought had a good game, but when Yoro comes in as well, I like that. I like the fact that he's got pace. I like the fact that he can come into the squad, and I like the fact that he's such a young guy. I think he's brilliant. John O'Connor says 100 goals for Fernandes is brilliant. No, it is. I thought today he was really, really good today. Don't even need locker rooms and showers. Thought United looked all right, but Chelsea looked bad. What did I say? But this is now the consequence, right, of teams who play in the Champions League. They're going to suffer. And we do have some decent players. And this is the problem. And again, we'll go for that. I'll just get through the chat, and then we can talk about that. Rochelle says, "Why do you still have so many screens behind you? Why do you have so many screens behind you? What do you do for a living?" These are my that's my private screens. I've got my work screen over there. I'm a finance IT consultant. Yeah, that's what I do. He sells TVs. Benja, we all know what I do, particularly with I don't want to say it or I'm going to get banned. His subs weren't our fault or the cards. Exactly. His subs weren't our fault or the cards were deserved except Casemiro's yellow. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I agree with that. I do agree. JB, you're heard Kobe and 40 million for. How old is Valverde now? It'll be interesting. I don't know. I think Kobe's going to be a fantastic player. If it's true, and look, if Kobe wants to go, we might as well get the best deal that we can. But the only thing for me that worries me is if Real Madrid are prepared to let him go. What does that say? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Up the Villa says next week United are back to crying. Look, Up the Villa. Welcome to the chat, my friend. Look, I'm not going to go over the top. I really don't want to see United fans going over the top, which I don't think we are. I want to see a performance next week. I want to see another. But you're right. This time next week, we all could be moaning again. As much as it's a banter comment, I, in some form or shape, I agree with you. I don't want to be sat here next week calling these players up in holes again, because they proved today that they can do it. The Lorax, glory, glory, Man United, 1 win, and it's glory, glory, haha. It's my birthday today. Jamie Vargas, happy birthday, sir. Obviously, you don't need to tell us how old you are, sir. But yeah, happy birthday, my friend. Have you heard of Roy Keane? Aaron, I'm 42 years old. I've been following this club for nearly 40 years. Yeah, I've heard of Roy Keane. Just a little bit. Personally, I think he should make a return. Roy Keane, yeah, I mean, I'd love Roy Keane. Obviously, he's not going to come back, but I would absolutely love a Roy Keane in this team. I think today, a Garnacho not playing was good. I think that is good. And we'll go through. I will get through the chats and then we'll go through the team today. Doggy was good. Just needs to upend his product. Dorgu, yeah, Dorgu. Hello, sir. How are you? And Ket, I'm very well. I hope you are doing well today. It's a win. We have to celebrate wins. We have to celebrate wins. Lamens not starting was a bit of a bummer, but high hopes he starts against Brentford. What I saw today, unbelievable. This was probably the highlight of the game for me. Bienda punched across. I mean, unbelievable. I was like, yes, today Bienda today, I thought he looked all right today. Like, Bienda punched across. I'm like, I couldn't believe what I saw, that Bienda actually looked okay. Not greatest on corners, but he actually come out and punched one. So I was like, wow. Dorgy was good today. Salah, again, get your opinions in. Dorgy, I thought, was probably not one of the better players today. He promises so much, but you're right. He just needs to sort that out. Are you a football lover, Anket? This is a football channel, a United channel. So yes, I am a football fan. Valverde, Ugarte, link up, prefer believer. Richard Hawkins says, but sorry, we should be winning because we are United and have a mentality of winning, not because other teams are playing more games than us. So Richard, I agree with you. The thing that I don't like is when we say with Man United, right? Not because I don't disagree with you, but this is where I'm at on it. And Richard, what you're saying now is what I said at the very start of the season, right? So let me tell you what I said at the start of the season. I said at the start of the season is that Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, right? They want to finish in the top 4. So what they're doing is they're going, we're going to buy players, so we know we're going to finish in the top 4, right? We're not going to hope and pray. We're going to buy players because we're going to go, we're finishing first, we're finishing second, we're going to go to the Champions League because they bought players. What we've done is we've gone, we're hoping teams are not going to be that good this season. We bought players, we haven't bought enough. And it's almost like the ethos of the club as well. We're hoping that, we're living on hopes and dreams. Like, we're hoping that Spurs are not going to be that great. We're hoping that Aston Villa are going to fall off this season. Instead of saying, no, we're not going to hope. We're going to get a team that we know is going to win games. So you're right. And also as well, I demand first every season. I demand we win the Champions League. I demand we win the league every season. Not because I'm an idiot, but it's because this is the standard that we should hold this club accountable. And you're absolutely right. We shouldn't be winning games because other teams are playing more games than us. We should be in the Champions League and we should be in their position. So I agree with you completely. Roger said, if Casemiro didn't get sent off, it would have been 6th or 7th. Roger, as much as I'd love to agree with you, the problem is right now, Roger, for me, is I think it could have been 3 or 4, but the end product is still not there. That's the problem that we've got. Šeško, I feel so sorry for Šeško coming off. I think he would have scored in this game potentially, but we're not. Our crosses in the box are not great, and that's where I think I'm at. Put Roy Keane as Carrington security guard and having intimidating players. It's just have him shouting on the line. Bienda learns unlike Anana. I don't disagree. Let's get Blue Games. All the rivals will cry. It was pure luck. But what about Liverpool getting lucky? And Man City. Exactly. I disagree too, Finjay. I don't think. Well, Kobe will start the next game. But you come on, and the problem is with Kobe is he's not getting his chance, and I get it. I do get it. He needs playing time, and this is why. Roger Hall. When will Lemens start? I think. Behad says hello. Tell him my things. I think Lemens starts when Bienda makes a howler, and I'm hoping when Bienda makes a howler, it's not going to be a howler that costs us a game, and that is where I think. So Lemens needs to work hard, and he'll get into that team. Roger Hall. When will Richard Hall says I don't understand why we bought two number 10s. We obviously needed a DM and a proven keeper. Richard, agree with you again. Richard, I'm agreeing with you tonight. Brilliant comments. Agree with you completely. I don't understand why we bought the number 10s. Cunha looks all right. We've got Mount, we've got Ahmad, Fernandez. Again, Bruce said, people saying that Maresca was playing 4D chess, subbing off Palmer, and Estefan was a joke. I don't think he had a choice. Totally agree, mate. Mbeumo looks like a beast. Mbeumo, mate, I love him. I think he's brilliant. I think he's a hard worker. So let's get through the game. Tell me what you think about the game. Tell me what you think about the plays. We'll talk about the game, and then I'll go through the team. I'll give you my scores and what I think. Then you tell me, and let's get through the game. So I thought we started off really, really brightly. If I was a Chelsea fan, would I be slightly annoyed? I would be, because you just don't know. We are above City. Apparently, we are bad, but City is the best thing since sliced bread. Joe, exactly. Scott, let's not get carried away, my friend. Šeško, he definitely will score. Let's not get carried away, Scott. Let's try and win a game. Joe, I agree with you. Liverpool again are scoring late goals. You know, apparently we are the worst thing since sliced bread. We are this team, but we're not. You know, we're 3 points behind Spurs. I think that's right. I think we're on 7. Spurs are on 10. You know, it's laughable. So I thought we started off the game extremely well. I thought we absolutely. Richard Hawkins says, I like Altar, but face it, he would be lucky to start most championship teams. Agree with you. Agree with you completely. So I thought we started off really, really well. I thought we looked comfortable. Today. I'm going to say the start of the game, right? It's not the formation. It is not the tactics. It's not the formation. I do accept where I will concede is that these are not the plays for the system. Are these good plays? They showed it today that some of these are good players. They really did. Mbeumo is just a good signing, but we need a good midfielder like Barcelona. Agree with you completely. Agree with you. Yeah, smash that like button, guys. It doesn't cost anything to do to smash it. Yeah. So I thought that Arsenal will win. Hopefully, Arsenal need to keep up with Liverpool, so let's hope they do win tomorrow. So I thought we started off the game, and again, there's only 6 United fans here. It's not the formation. It really isn't. It is their mentality, and we saw positive mentality today. We absolutely did. So I thought we started off the game really well. I thought De Ligt was solid. Again, I thought he was brilliant. Luke Shaw, for me, I thought he had a good game. I thought he had a decent game. I thought he had one of the better games that he's had, but he fades. He is not a wing back. I don't know why he was deployed there. Amorin is gonna suffer for Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is not the player that he was. I'm maintaining that. I thought he did well. I thought he did okay today. Second half, he got exposed a couple of times. You know, when Luke Shaw doesn't have to run and he's got the ball at his feet and players are close to him, he's very good. But he doesn't have the physicality now. He's just, his injuries have taken a toll. But I still think he had a decent game. Casemiro was okay. I still think that midfield pivot need work. And I got destroyed on this, right? And I'll come to Ahmad, but I got destroyed in this. There's a show that I did, and I give my opinions on Ahmad, where I said that I would sell him. I got annihilated. Okay, lads, I'll be back on Monday, maybe tomorrow. Have a good day. It's 10:30 here. Bluey Games. See you soon, my friend. So, Dorgu, I thought Dorgu, I like him. He's young. I don't like him because he's young. I like him because he's a good player. Bambadella says, I'm so happy that the players played well for Amorin today. 100%. 100%. You doing a stream for the Arsenal game? I might do some more streams if I get a chance. If I get a chance, I absolutely win. Sherman said, I told you Amorin is good. We just need to change Euro for Luke Shaw and Maz for Maguire. Bring in Semenya right wing back on by 2 centre midfielder. Bruno, Cass, Maguire, another sell. Look, we're going to have a change around, right? But like I said, it is not formation. It's not the tactics. I get hammered all the time, but it's not. I still don't like that pivot. I still don't like Casemiro in there. I think at times he's too slow. You know, he's still pinging these 50-yard balls. His mind is there, but his body's not. And it shows that the dressing room is still intact regardless. Exactly. Exactly. It does. And today showed me that. Casemiro, for me, a liability. He really is. He plays because he brings control, but his body, you know, Casemiro would work well in a midfield 3. Right? You'd keep him just in front of the back 4. You'd play two centre mids, and he would mop everything up. Fine, you give him that protection, but exposing him, I mean, it is negligence. It really is. Casemiro today is just he's just not. But again, he's a very intelligent player that comes up with goals. So he was lucky today. He's very, very lucky today. Casemiro's mind is look. He's been a fantastic world class player, right? He's just got older. Playing for Madrid, winning all the Champions Leagues, doing the things that he did for such a long time. It's not his fault. I'm not blaming Casemiro. I do blame the manager here for playing him there. It exposes him. His mind is there, his body's not, and until we can resolve that, we're going to suffer. Fernandes today, for me, was brilliant. I missed Mazraoui. Mazraoui, one of the centre backs today, I thought was pretty decent. I didn't think he had the same game as De Ligt. I thought he was average. I thought he did quite well. Who else am I missing? Dorgu, who played on the right hand side. I can't bloody think now. Probably I've missed someone out. So we had Shesko up front. Well, let's talk about Ahmad. Ahmad. I got hammered the other day when I said that I would sell Ahmad. And my reasoning, my couple of reasons is that he's not going to get into this team. I would cash in on him, just because I think we'd get money for him. And also, I don't know what's wrong with Ahmad. I mean, is he playing out of position? He played as a 10 today. He's got something, right? I wouldn't sell him just yet, but I got hammered for that. Ahmad, he's a good player, but the problem is with Ahmad now, he needs to make that leap, right? He needs to make that leap. Will he do it here? He's not been brilliant this season, but he is capable of doing these things. But he just looks like his game is not progressing. We need more from him. We absolutely need more from him. And what I want to see him do now is I want to see him take his game to the next level. And I'm not sure if he can do that here. So, Mbeumo, for me, I love Mbeumo. I think he's class. I rate him highly. I think he's such a good player. I think he's such a good player. I rate him a lot. I really, really do. He makes things happen. He makes things happen so much for us. And I just think he's such a good player. I rate him. I think he's right now. I think he's worth every penny. And I thought he played well today. Shesko, I feel sorry for Shesko. His life hasn't started. His life has started like a typical United striker, right? All the strikers that we've had is very, very typical. I think he's finding it hard to adjust. I do. I don't think he understood the Premier League. I still don't think he's making the right movement just yet. I don't think he's making the right runs. That will come. I'm not concerned about Shesko at all. I'm not concerned one bit, right? He's got time. And if fans start calling him out and saying, he's trash, he's this and that, Shesko's not, right? So I'm not too concerned. Substitutes wise, Euro again, when he came on, I thought he looked fine, comfortable wise. Cunha when he came on, Mount, Cunha tried to do stuff. I didn't notice Mason Mount at all, I have to say. Again, I'd like to use him like that because I think that's probably what he's going to be. Ugarte, again, forced into that change. We can talk about Ugarte. I think he goes. I mean, Ugarte for me, he's going to do a job. I think we're going to do a job with this midfield. Mainu, when he came on as well, the game was effectively over at that point. Just bringing on legs, to do something in that midfield when Fernandes actually came off as well. So I'll read through some of the chats, and then I'll give you my scores as well, and then I'll tell you what I think about Amorin. Well, you say it's not the formation, but Everton, Hag and Amorin, they think they can play their formation in the Premiership and not adopt, but it's a different game here. Richard, it is. It is. When I say it's not the formation, what I do agree with you on is slightly different, right? So it's slightly a different 3-3-4-3. Glasner plays it, I think. But I think Amorin underestimated the Premier League. And as I've always said this, Richard, is that Amorin is very young. His tactics are going to develop over time. If you look at Amorin in the next 5-6 years, his tactics are going to be different, which I think is spot on. I think he's learning on the job. I'm not going to dismiss this. I think this is a really, really important point, is that we can't dismiss that Amorin is 40 years old. Like, there's no wonder that managers take older managers who've experienced it. There's only a very few young managers who do well. They tend to get better with age because of experience. Fergie did it. Fergie was here 6 years before he came good, because he was still learning. He was reasonably young and he came in and had to learn, right? Amorin needs time. That is the thing that he needs. He needs time. So I agree with you. His tactics and formation, but they do work. It's been proven time and time again that it does work. But where I agree with you, within those tactics, there needs to be some flexibility. But at the moment, there isn't. So he's very rigid and stubborn in the tactics that he uses and the formation. But where I do agree with you, he does need to adopt tweaks to be able to play different teams. He played this today. Did he get lucky? In some respects, yes. The basis of the formation works fine. But it's then when you play the likes of a Brighton, who are not going to conform to what they don't mind playing a bit of ball, but then they don't mind just lumping men forward. So Amorin's tactics that he's trying to be smart with, he needs sometimes, like Fergie used to do, stick a big man up front. Can he adapt to those kind of games? Ashley Moore says, for me, Mainu and Ugarte, Bruno is a 10. Agree with you. Casemiro is bigger than any of United's players. Yeah, but busy. It's not about being bigger, is it? Or what do you mean by bigger? Do you mean more of a name? Like Casemiro, I'm not disputing Casemiro was world class, but he's not anymore. Like, his body is done. He cannot do what he used to do. And it's not his fault. I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming Casemiro. Casemiro shouldn't be in the squad, but he is. It's not his fault. I'm not blaming him. He was world class, but he's not now. Casemiro is a very, very good player, but energy is not there. Glory United. Hugo Ekitike. Where's his goals then, Ant? Where's his goals? I mean, he scored 2, and then he's gone a bit quiet. So, hello from Indonesia. Medan, hello, my friend. BM says the referee was too partial. Second yellow's too soft. He just wanted to balance things up. Maybe. It was soft. But Casemiro, again, he's got a name, hasn't he? Well, when he first came into the club, he had a reputation, right? As he stuck with him, possibly. It was soft. Sean says, I thought Maz played okay, but I was disappointed with Ugarte. Richard, I agree with you. Amad must not be sold. He's just been obedient to instructions, and it affects him a little. That's a very good point. Again, as I asked, get your opinions in on these players. Absolutely no problem with you disagreeing with me. It doesn't mean that I'm always right, by the way. I just give you an opinion, and sometimes like that opinion, I think that's a very good opinion. Maybe that is right. Maybe Ahmad is just doing what he's told to do. Yeah, agreed. Garner went missing. You did. Richard, I tell you what I did see today. We in the ground were saying that Garnacho thought he was coming on. He was delighted, but when he was told to sit down, the huffy face just came on, just saying, "No, Richard, bring it in, mate." I mean, if mate, honestly, if you're a match going fan, Richard, respect, absolute massive respect for you for for doing all the things that you do. Without the match going fans, mate, you go in there every single game. Like home and away, amazing stuff, right? Garnacho, I would have loved for him to come on and somebody absolutely clatter him. I don't think that would have happened, but the fact that he didn't get his own little way, it pleases me, right? I'm not normally petty, but it pleases me. I'm absolutely pleased tonight that Garnacho didn't get his way. Petulant little boy, sit down, son. All I'm saying is there is going to be a second match. So, let's hope that on the return when we go to their place that we can still beat them twice. I hope you are right, because that is what I want to see. And yes, it took Fergie 6 years. Exactly. I hope I'm right too, because not because I want to be right. This is when I say, I've said things, or, I've said things on the channel. I have, and they're all there. It's not because I want to be right and because my opinion is the best. It's not, right? It's because I have to be a pragmatic and logical thinker. And sometimes maybe I do think the worst stuff. But it's only because the alternative right now is scary. I think Sir Jim, as it's been reported by very credible people, that Southgate, it makes so much sense for me. So the alternative, I don't think is going to be what people think it is. I think the alternative is going to be very, very scary. Football Tube. All right, mate. Yes, I am. And you as well. You think Amorin adjusted to the 10-man? I do, because he had to. Absolutely. He absolutely had to. We're talking about him not being able to change. He did. I thought that Maresca did a good job as well. To be fair, going down to 10 men is hard enough, right? And then when we went down to 10, I never really felt Chelsea were really going to get back into the game other than a corner or a free kick. Now, the corner that they scored, really, really disappointed that our players didn't rush out to close him down. Reece James, again, I thought he did some good crosses. I thought he was probably the main threat. And, it says a lot when Chelsea's main threat was Reece James. He did. I think he put some wonderful balls in. De Ligt at times was immense. Being the punch one as well. So it worried me from the corners. But I didn't think they were going to... I didn't feel that they were going to score. The last 10 minutes, the last 7 minutes were maybe... you can nick a goal, right? But that's what I'm talking about. The mentality was different today. Amorin, I really agree. In his time, Father says, give us a story time. Give us a story time. What was you doing when 9/11 broke? Follow. Interestingly enough, my daughter is actually born on that date. So my daughter is born on that date. I was in college. I was sitting in a classroom, and I just remember people running down the sort of into the rooms screaming like have you seen this? Like, have you seen this? And yeah, that was horrific. And then I remember going home and just watching it. Absolutely horrific time. There's certain events that happen, right, that exactly where you were. I give you another story. Then when the bombings happened in London, I was actually on the train behind. So the train, obviously, that that thing that like happened. So I've got to be careful what I say because it will ban the video. Those London ones, I should have been on that train. That was my train to work, and I've just happened to be late. And I'm not saying I would have been in the carriage that but I was on the train behind it, and I should have been on that train. So it really is, really is scary. Kelly Pepper says, if you didn't play half the game with 10 men today, would you be in the relegation zone? No. Would we? That's a very, very good point, actually, Kelly. I'm not quite sure why I said no then. I don't think we would be, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We are this, Kelly, and I think Kelly, I think you've raised a good point, right? I think you've raised a really, really good point here, right? So for those who are saying Amorin out, right? Kelly's actually come into this chat right now, right? And actually just mic dropped something, right? And I'll tell you why, okay? Is that Amorin in, Amorin out. We're in the relegation zone. We're about to go down, right? Okay? Kelly's come in and said, if we didn't win today, would we be in like the bottom three, right? But this is what I'm saying about we've only played, 4 games in, right? We are 3 points behind second. We're on 7 and Spurs are on 10. We're 3 points behind Spurs. We've only played 4 games. This is exactly what I'm saying. And Kelly's just made a brilliant point here. Is that we've only played 4 games? No, we've played 4 games, right? Yeah, right. Played 4 games. And we could have either been in the bottom 3, I don't know if that's true, or we're 9th and we're 3 points away from Spurs. It's so early on into the season, and this is why I'm saying calling for Amorin now is ridiculous. We're basically, if Spurs lose their next game and we win, we're on the same points as Spurs. Like, we're above City. So Kelly's just probably made an app, probably the point of the evening without even, and I don't know if that was like a purposeful thing, Kelly, but you smashed it out of the park because it's true. And this is the point. This is why sacking him now is ridiculous. Because we're 3 points from second and we're 9th. And we could have easily have swung either way today. It's just a ridiculousness. Richard Hawkins said, I get it. I think as we are United fans, we just want to see United back to where they belong. I don't believe in sacking the managers. In fact, I no longer could even support Franco Farrell. Fellow says that is a crazy story. You survived by being late. I mean, it's just one of those things, right, that you don't really think about until it happens. But yeah, I mean, it was a Amorin needs to go. Amorin needs to go. Bad subs. I don't think he had a choice there, Leo. Maguire and De Ligt are real leaders of the team. Stephen, I agree with you completely. I think Maguire today is a leader. If that was anyone else, they would have took Casemiro off. Leo, I wouldn't have even started him, mate. I wouldn't even started him. Kirk, Lenny Yoro isn't ready for the Premier League. Kirk, are you serious? Again, I read the opinion out. I'm not digging the opinion out. Have you seen Yoro play? I mean, against Arsenal, Yoro's been one of our better players. He is ready. He's more than ready, mate. He is more than ready. I don't know what's going on around that. I don't know if they're managing his minutes, but Yoro is absolutely ready. Gamacho, I think this is good for him. He's good. He's not as good as he thinks he is. They should have brought him to rescue the situation after Palmer. Yeah, Ganacho today, it did make me chuckle. It made me chuckle today because I'm sure he thought I can just imagine, right? Imagine this, right? I reckon he was thinking about all night in his room, in his hotel room, that he was going to come on the pitch, he was going to score the winner, he was going to run up to the Stretford end, and he was going to give them all what for. He was going to give the sign to like Amorin, and that's what he's been thinking about, and he's been dreaming about. I bet he's been training extra hard. I bet he's been doing everything he can, and he didn't even get on the pitch today. It absolutely cracks me up. It absolutely makes me chuckle. The fact that I know he was up for this game, I know he was itching to come onto this pitch today, and he didn't get that chance. Absolutely hilarious. Let's not go down the road of what if mentally we won, not a great win, but a win is a win. Exactly that. Philip Rome says the issue with Amorin is how stubborn he is with the 3-4-3. I saw Xabi Alonso today used the same tactic. Today he played with a 4-4-2. I think Philip. I think the difference is I think that, and I'm going to say it. At the moment, Alonso is a better coach, right? There's no point in trying to say that he's not, right? Alonso, I'm not saying that Amorin is not an intelligent guy, and I'm not saying that Amorin can't be a good manager. But Alonso is a different. When Alonso played, he was a very, very intelligent player, right? And I think he's translated. Pep was a great player. Pep was a very intelligent player, and there's some managers, there's some players that could do it. And Alonso is just I think he's a very, very articulate. He's a very, very astute guy, and he's probably tactically better. I think he's probably. You don't do what you did with Leverkusen by luck. So I just think Alonso is better, and Amorin has to come up to that standard. Rich Hawk says, "Well, my father took me from Belfast to see my first game in '66. Only one goal, and it was at Main Road, scored by Law. Then he saved his money and took me to Wembley in '68. Richard Hawkins, mate, that's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing that, mate. That is those stories are the sorts of stories that I love to hear. That I do. I don't think that sometimes you don't appreciate the past as much, and those are the stories that I absolutely love. So thank you so much for sharing it. I was surprised with the back three we started with. Defo need a bit more pace. Agree with you. And I will go through Amorin, and I'll go through my scores too. Who do you play next? I think, is it Brentford and then Sunderland? Richard Hawkins, the real deal. Exactly. Richard Hawkins is the real deal. You should get a result against Brentford, Wayne. I hope so, my friend. Amorin in. Super battles. Exactly. Public says, hi, guys. Evenings. I'd had to walk away with that match. They did. It was a must win. So let me give you my scores. You get your scores in as well. Marks out of 10. 6 is an average score, so I'll give it a 6. Binder today for me, average score. Do you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to give Binder a 6, right? Because let me read what Ben says first. My father took me to a Ravens game when I was like 8 years old. Threw me off the American football for the rest of my life. Kirk, the back three was solid today. Euro came on, free header. He gave it away. It was shocking. I don't know what's going on with Euro. I do think he's Premier League ready, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. So Howard says, hi guys, well done to your boys today, but how entertaining was it? Liverpool derby? Yeah, it was a fantastic game. Thank you for that, my friend. We needed a win. Liverpool again, they're just relentless, aren't they? But again, this is what I mean. A derby game is different, isn't it? Everton are up for a derby game. Liverpool are. And this is what I mean by the City game is so disappointed. But I do agree, Liverpool are vulnerable at the moment, but entertaining to watch. I must say, much better performance. Could have done better score-wise, but yes, it's exactly, my friend. So let's go through scores today. We won, so I'm going to be generous maybe with some of the scores. So Binder for me, I'm going to give him a 6, right? And the reasoning for that is because I think we need to, if he's going to play in goal, I think we need to say, look, when he plays well, you won because Sanchez got sent off. Jay Collins, bollocks, mate. No. Disagree with that completely. And this is what I love. Banter fans, get in here tonight. Banter fans are very, very quiet. Where are you all? Where are the Amorin outers tonight? Where are the banterers? Jay, mate, I disagree, but that's your opinion. Where are the Banter boys at tonight? Where are the Amorin outers tonight? They're not, are they? The interesting thing for me is when we win a game, the Amorin outers are very much quiet. All right. I'll be consistent on this. I'm Amorin in, but I'm still not sold just because we won a match, right? Just because we won a match. But to be fair, as it was just said there by Jay, right? Sanchez got sent off, right? We're not going to have keepers sent off all of the time, right? Jay Collins, to be fair, while I disagree, you make a good point because we don't know what the score was going to be. I think 2-1 flattered Chelsea. Again, we don't convert goals, we don't convert the chances. We had so much of the ball, we still don't create enough. But we're not going to play teams with 10 men every single season, every single game. So I'm still not convinced. Like I'm not sitting here saying that Amorin outers are still wrong. All I'm asking for tonight is if you're Amorin out, just come on and just keep saying it. I'm not going to call you out, but it's just I want to see people being consistent. If you're Amorin out, come on here. There's absolutely no banter from me. I'm not going to call you out. But even when we lose, and we lost to Grimsby, and I take a load of flack on here for it, I'm still Amorin in, right? For the reasons that I've said. I will back what I say. I'm not going to flip-flop and change. So Amorin outwards, I expect you to do the same. Still come on and still say that I'm Amorin out, like Amorin's X, Y, and Z. But tonight, those people are not on here. So it's interesting. We will Casemiro in the next game. No, Casemiro's got a red card, so he's out. Excellent. Wayne says 2 easy games to win. Wayne, you'd think so. You'd think so, my friend. You would think so. But let's see, shall we, Wayne? Richard Hawkins, Banter the bandwagons. That wasn't even a red card, says Pablo. So, listener, you won a game. We did win a game, Silent. We did win a game. How many points off of relegation? Silent listener, I love it. I love it, mate. Bringing in the banter, but what I do like is as long as you are respectful, which you guys are being, banter is welcome here completely, right? Yeah, but Silent, you can say that about City. City are still there as well. So, I'm sure we're 3 points off of Spurs. I think we're on 7 and Spurs are on 10. So I would even say we're sitting at 9. So how many points are we now off of top 4? So you can argue it either way. So you can say how many points off now. So, I think the argument right now, I think is it's becoming a little bit a little bit lame. Like I'm not calling you lame. I'm just saying that opinion. It's almost like when you're at school, and there's like someone on TV, right? So remember that advert that was "What's up," right? And you had everyone in school was going "What's up, what's up, what's up," and it's funny for a while, and it's repetitive. And if anybody remembers the advert for Tango, the drink, right? It was this guy, and he used to come up and he used to smash him in the ears, right? It's funny for a time, and then it just gets a bit lame and boring. And this whole, are we going to go down, relegation stuff? I mean, it's like, it's a bit lame because it's not going to happen. I get it, bring it in, but it's a bit like yawn. Like, if you're going to banter properly. In fairness, says Jay, you might be stay up. Now, see, Jay has come in there with a good banter piece. I like that. I like that. Hope they're consistent from here on in. Exactly. So Dennis Birch says Ahmad has 2 opportunities to square it to Sheska, and he wasted it. I agree with you, Dylan. I agree with you completely. I think Ahmad's decision making this season is terrible. Can you see how Sheska is fitting into the system? I can see where he will fit into the system, but we're not getting the ball to him. Like, I can see the system. but that part of the system isn't working. So I still agree with some parts of people who are hammering out in terms of there needs to be a system tweak or a change. I don't think it's system. I will say this: it's not a system and it's not formation. But does he need to tweak it? Of course he does. He needs to tweak it. He does, because how can you have Shesko up front? So Hoyland struggled up front. Now Shesko is that a coincidence? That two coaches that we've had, one was fired, and he's not scoring goals. So is that a flaw in his system? Maybe for me that is a chink. There are two chinks. That sounds terrible. That sounds awful. But there were there were two chinks in his armor. Oh God, that sounds awful. Is that the pivot doesn't work overall? Fernandes played amazing. Well, not amazing, but he played good today. Normally, it's not. And the striker. So those two for me are the weak links. The system bollocks is off its head. Why don't the guy give Lamens a chance? I'm sure the guy will impress. Pablo, I get it. I do get it. But I think Amorin is waiting, like Ten Hag did, to basically to wait until Bienda makes a clanger. I'm hoping that when he does make a clanger, that is not going to cost us a match. As a Liverpool fan, we are still a little edgy at the back. Yeah, Wayne, but the thing is, mate, you are. But the thing that you've got, Liverpool, that we used to have, is you've got that fear factor. You've got that. You can't describe it, but you've got the aura that you're going to win, and you know that you're going to win, right? And that is what you've got. And I think that gets you over the line. Son, listener says, United fans are off their head. We ain't even in the Prem, and you're a mid-table team in denial, slowly slipping. That's better banter, Silent. I like that. That's much better. That's much better. We are mid-table. Nobody's saying that we're not, mate. If you come onto this channel and you watch back the things that I say, some of us on here, we don't agree. They think we'll finish 5th. That's fine. Some of us think we'll, not us, but some fans will think that we'll be down. I've said that we're mid-table. I'm not disguising anything other. And we might be 9th. I think we'll finish in and around 10th. That's where I think we are. And I think right now we are a mid-table team because I don't think these players fit the system. So our results are going to be up and down. And I think we'll end up probably, as you say, we finished 15th last season, but to sort of come back in that opinion is we finished 15th last season. If we finished 10th, then we've gone up, right? So, Sohail says, Amorin didn't have the English football skills and techniques. Need a Dutch or a German to input the perfect new game. Okay. Ten Hag was Dutch. Van Gaal was Dutch. Both weren't great. Rangnick. Is Rangnick German? Rangnick is the inventor of Klopp's style of football. Rangnick didn't stay. I don't. So again, mate, that's your opinion. I'm not going to disrespect the opinion. But I don't think it's not about the nationality of the coach, in my opinion. I mean, you tell me. I mean, if you're referring to Slot, the differences with Slot, mate, he went into. If Slot came into this side, do you think Slot would have won the Premier League? Not a chance. If you'd have put any manager pretty much who plays the same system as Klopp, they would have won the league. You're inheriting that side. It's a fantastic side. They all know what they're doing. This is what I am going to say. This is Slot's first season. He's bought players and they're looking a bit shaky. So this is Slot's first season where he's had to buy his own players. He's looking a bit shaky. Liverpool are winning, no doubt about that, but they're looking a little bit shaky. So I don't agree with that. Dylan says the system needs a high intensity pace. Without that, you're seeing from the past performances the results of walking. Exactly, Dylan. Richard says mini bars and ice cold beer seems much better after we win. Richard, exactly, my friend. Right? How can you not love that tonight? People who are miserable fuckers who are going to go, oh, we were lucky, blah 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 blah. We won a game. I mean, Richard, you summed it up, mate. Go and have a beer. Go and have a packet of crisps. Go and do whatever you need to do, my friend. Just enjoy it. I mean, enjoy a win. We haven't had many of these wins. Enjoy it. Absolutely enjoy it. Yeah, I agree. Liverpool must find their feet. Exactly. One thing that does my head in is the centre back subs. Yeah, Kirk. I mean, centre back wise, I do find it puzzling at times. Football Tube says, what's stopping us from getting the ball to him? I just think the delivery, Football Tube, is surely it can't be the players the manager is picking. It's just we're not. I think we're so used still to just playing in. I think what happens is that some of these players are so used to getting that ball there and panicking. I think it's a mentality thing. It's a stop, think about what you're doing, or think 2 paces ahead. What are you going to do when you get the ball there? Dorgu needs to work on it. Dorgu is crossing his shit, right? I like him. I think he's very good with the ball. He's very good at going forward. His passing's crap, right? He needs to improve that. Ahmad is very, very wasteful. Fernandez, again, he can cross the ball. But it's people like Dorgu and Ahmed that break down the system that I feel. And then when the ball comes to them, and because Dorgu gets a lot of that ball down there, his crossing is horrific. I'd make him go out and do crossing for about 2 hours, 3 hours a day, and just make sure that he knows how to cross, because he's absolutely abysmal. It's still early in India. I have confidence in this team. He should just start a few guys like Manu, Lamens, and Yoro is a solid defence. I think City will beat Arsenal tomorrow. Interesting. Bro, Sabia, you old. Andrew Gress says, stop talking. Andrew, I'm a very polite person, but I say this, and I mean this, Andrew. Fuck off. That's enough said. Richard says, I think Shasko has something to offer, and I think he's brave coming to us in the position that we are. Exactly. I agree. Pro says, yes, he's still going to score a lot of goals. Wayne says, don't want Southgate. He was, Sir Jim wants him. Joey Keaton says, Big Sam, I said it before, was at there with Ferguson, new manager. You would be at the new bolt. Joey, I saw that myself, and I did have a little laugh to myself. I did see Big Sam there today, mate. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Big Sam? Oh, horrific. We have lost a load of players. Holger says there's a big ass spider in the wall behind you. I'm not scared of spiders. Absolutely couldn't care less. I have no fear of spiders whatsoever. Just turn it down a little bit. Yeah, I've got no fear of spiders at all. I do quite like spiders. So let's go through the team before I go. Let's go through the numbers. Let's give you my scores. So Bienda, I'm going to give him a 6. Going to give Bienda a 6. I think that he came up and punched the ball. I thought he looked a bit more solid and a bit more composed today. So I have to. So let me educate some of the Liverpool fans. When in the 50s, the idea of English teams going into it was proposed. One team that voted against it was Liverpool. Thought you would turn around. No, I couldn't care less about spiders. I'm more concerned about the tax man. I'm kidding. So Bienda for me was a 6. He didn't have much to do. I don't think the goal was his fault either. He came up and punched the ball. I'm going to give him a 6. Dorgu for me. Let me know your scores as well. I thought that Dorgu, was it an average performance? Yeah, I'd say it was a 5.56 today. did some good things, but I think he could have done a bit more. His crossing wasn't great, so I think I'd give him a 5.56. De Ligt today for me was a 7.58. I thought De Ligt today was immense. I know some of the tackles he does these things that I think that he does some of these things that I love it. I think that he was a 7.5 to 8 today. Maguire 7, steady 7. He does bring composure. He does bring that composure. So I thought he was really, really good today. Mazraoui again. I am forgetting somebody who played on the right. Who played the right wing back today? I'm missing people out today. I'll come on to Luke Shaw. Mazraoui today again. I thought was a 7. I thought he did some decent things. You could argue 6.5, 7 for me. Was it an average? Was it above average? Maybe. I thought it was 6.5. I thought he was average, or you could argue that he was just over that. He's coming back. He's he's getting match fitness again. Luke Shaw today. Do you know what? I'll give Luke Shaw a 6.5 today. I thought he had a decent game for him. You could argue a 7. I thought for the goal, I thought he could have come out. I think he's a bit slow sometimes, but it was definitely a better performance. I wouldn't argue if you give him a 7. Was he average? I thought he was a little bit above average today. I'd say he had a similar performance to like a Dorgu today. You could argue 6.5. Casemiro to me, it's got to be a 4. He scored a goal, but he got sent off. That could have cost us the game. So for me, Casemiro today is a 4. He nearly cost us the game. I wouldn't even mind if you gave him a 3. When you do, and again, it wasn't his fault. I thought it was a really light card, but when you're in a game like that, you just have to be really, really careful. So De Ligt today, again, I agree. 7.58. Fernandes for me, where do I think Fernandes was today? We saw a driven Fernandes today. We saw a leader today on the pitch. We saw drive. We saw him giving instructions to players. We saw a Bruno Fernandes who scored a goal as well. That little run at the end, and when he was pumping up the fans. So would I give him a 9? I'd give him an 8.5. I wouldn't argue with a 9. I mean, I don't think he's a 9. I don't think he is a 9 today. You can argue that. Man of the match today was him. For me, I would definitely give him the man of the match as well today. I thought he was a leader today. I'd give him an 8.5. I still think there's some things that he does. I wouldn't argue with a 9 today. I really wouldn't. For me, it's 8.5. There are a couple of things that still not sold on. So, in Mbumo, for me, again, 7.5. You can argue an 8 as well. I like Mbumo. He does so many different things. He crosses the ball. He gets the ball. He runs with the ball. Was it an 8 performance? Maybe. I'd probably give it a 7.5. You can argue an 8. Fernandes for me was better. You can swing it. Ahmad for me was a 6. He promises so much, but he doesn't. I thought he had a very Dorgu-esque game today. Does so many things well, but when you need him to do stuff, I think today wasn't his best game. Average performance, average. Fine. Mainly when he came on, he didn't really do a lot. So 5. Ugarte, you could 4.5. He came on. I thought he did some shit things. So again, who else come on? Euro, give him a 5 as well. Average. You can't really score him too much. Mason Mount as well, 5. So if I had to score Amorin today, it's very, very difficult for me to score Amorin today on the basis that you don't know what would have happened with 11 men. If I had won this game and played as they did before the player was sent off, then I would give him like an 8, right? But I mark it down because we don't know. The players clearly played for him today. I don't know if he managed to ramp him up. I mark him down because he's very stubborn. I instantaneously mark him down because Bruno was a number 8, and you have to mark him down for that. So I think today at Amorin, I think I'd probably give him a 7. I have to give him a 7 because we won the game. His substitutions didn't really do anything to the game. It wasn't like his subs come on and change the game completely. We won a game. He managed to get his players up. We turned it around. You could argue, a 6 because it wasn't 11v11. It's really, really difficult to judge. But I'm giving him a 7 because we won. He needs a 7, and I think we need to support him as well. Let me go through the chats before I go. Wayne says Fernandez a 9. Thoughts on Casemiro? John Mayer. Casemiro's done. I mean, the problem with him is that he's a legend of a player. But he's done. His mind is still brilliant. His body's not. So the thoughts are when he goes, I wish him well. It's not his fault. He's not picking himself. For me, he's a player that you play now when you absolutely have to. Amorim plays him because he brings control. He doesn't bring control. He doesn't. He does these wild passes. It looks like he's playing on a beach. But he's a liability. But the guy was world class. The guy's a legend. I wish him well, but I think we need somebody different. Sanchez is not Chelsea FC keeper. He is at the moment. Rob Taft says, so Alex Ferguson, if you can't support us when we lose, don't support us when we win. Exactly that. You've got to support the team. You have to give this team support. And I'm not saying, you can flick that like either way, right? But for me, you've got to support this club, because it's really, really important. No matter how, if we win, we lose, we enjoy the wins, we commiserate the losses, we can moan and whinge, but ultimately we're all here for the same thing. Richard Hawkins says the only reason Liverpool win Europe is because of Sir Matt Busby, who, by the way, was a Liverpool player. I like these facts, Richard. De Ligt was in his prime. Good game. Yeah. I'm giving De Ligt an Mbeumo an 8. Richard, I agree with you. I do agree with you on that one. What are your thoughts on Amorin not starting the men's? He's doing it for a reason. Lamens is brand new in the team. I trust Amorin. And I know that might sound crazy. I don't like some of the things that he does. But I've got to trust the manager. Because ultimately, some of the things he does I've liked. Maybe Lamens is maybe not as far forward as we think he is. So, I do trust him. Which also says, I like Patrick. He's great going forward, but the final is not there. However, that can be talked. Richard, again, mate, agree with you completely. Dogged for me. He's a young guy. So much potential. If he can get that crossing in, it'd be amazing. Abahai says, said hi, hello my friend. Come play FC JB, mate. I'd love to, but I've got a movie night with my daughter. She begged me, so I'm gonna have to do that. Tonight we didn't play double pivot, but only Casemiro as CDM. I'm Bruno as a cam. I hate Cass. He's just finished for the Prem. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Exactly. That you don't hate him. He's just finished. You can't win everything in life. Exactly, Wayne. John May says, what do you think of Liverpool this season? I think they've been very, very shaky. Newcastle proved that with 10 men. But Liverpool are playing like winners. Like they're playing that. Winners don't always win. Winners don't always play well. Winners win. And that's what they're doing. Will it run out at some point? Of course it will do. It might not, but it might well do. So, Liverpool are doing, they haven't had the best start to the season, but they're winning. And it doesn't matter if you play good or bad, as long as you're winning. And I think they're having You are from the USA. I'm not. I'm from Essex. So, guys, I am going to go. Amazing show tonight. A win. How can you not support a win? Enjoy your night with your daughter. Exactly, it is. It is as well. I mean, we've been going for like an hour and a half. So, again, you guys are amazing. I always say this because I think it's important. Some of the chats that all we've had on here, and as I get to know people, bad things have happened to people, and we have shared some things on here, a really, really important thing. So that's why I'll always say to you, in life, you can't buy time. You can't buy time with your friends. You can't buy time with the people that you've lost. You can't. Are you a billionaire? No, mate. No. Far from it. Far from that, my friend. You can't buy time. We get older. Some of us don't. What movie? I think I'm probably gonna watch K-pop Slayers or whatever they're called. That's what she wants to watch. So I'm gonna have to sit there and watch K-pop something or other. But yeah, guys, it's so important. And you which movie you watching? Popcorn. Watching K-pop Demon Slayers. K-pop Demon Hunters. I've no idea what the hell it is, but I promised her to watch that. So she's only 11, so but yeah, guys, thank you so much. You genuinely, I mean this, and I don't get bored. What is your net worth? About 50 quid right now, mate, I think. Yeah, it's not Benja, I've got to do it right. So guys, it doesn't matter if you come on here and banter. Doesn't matter, if you're Amorin in, Amorin out, shake it all about, mate. Yeah, I genuinely thank everybody for being here. Thank you to the mods. The mods need to get more love because they do a fantastic job. You guys who comment, you guys who like, subscribe. Exactly, Wayne. Daughters are very, very expensive, and she's just had a new hamster today as well. So very, very expensive indeed. But yeah, guys, amazing guys. Always peace and love on here. Have a good rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Why your net worth is not like Elon Musk? Because I'm not like. I'm gonna finish on that comment because it's really, really funny. Because I'm not Elon Musk. Nobody is. So fantastic. So guys, have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here, interacting with the channel. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.